Retain gang, spiritual family, what's going on, everybody? I am finally getting myself some sunshine. It's been a very gray 3 weeks, lots of streaks in the sky, if you catch my drift. So you know me, I love the sun, so I get very frustrated when they do their little campaigns in the sky, which also tends to change the atmospheric pressure levels, and I tend to get aches and pains like crazy when they do this stuff, and lower energy and all this whatever. They stop, the sun comes out, the skies get clear, and I go sit in the sun, and suddenly I'm like feeling amazing again. So yeah, if you know, you know. I think I'm talking to people that know. But at the end of the day, man, you guys, I think I'm also talking to people, you guys know that this is spiritual warfare. This is all spiritual warfare, man. Even the chemical, biological, psychological, whatever. At core, it's spiritual warfare. At core, there are disembodied entities, spirits, non-physical spirits that don't feed on physical things because they're not physical things. They feed on energetic things because they're energetic things. So emotions are energetic things, right? Emotions, energy and motion is a nice way to think of an emotion. Is something that moves through you. In the word motion is contained the word ocean phonetically as well, so it suggests fluidity. Emotions are like fluid. They're energetic states of being. You could even consider an emotion as a spirit unto itself, like the spirit of anger, or the spirit of sorrow, the spirit of resentment, etc., etc. Because these are energies, right? So a lot of times, this is like words. A lot of these words point at the same reality. What you call it, the etheric realm. You call it the spirit realm, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. I think we're all pointing at the same thing. There's the unseen, and then there's the seen. And really, the warfare at core originates from the unseen realm. And then it kind of trickles into our physical reality where we can see and feel these things. And some of these things are very obvious, and you can actually see them with your eyes, and you can even smell them with your nose some days. You can get a chemistry kit and test your tap water, and right there you got poison and more poison. How did that get there? You think if they can come up with billions of dollars to send to Ukraine, they can't fix the tap water in America? Come on now. But really it's all spiritual, right? Because what's the end goal here? It's not necessarily to poison you. That's just part of it. It's not necessarily to suppress your immune function by limiting your exposure to the sun or demonizing the sun and making you afraid of it so you stay inside, or put chemicals on your skin to protect yourself from it. Ultimately, all of this stuff, the common thread, all the different forms of warfare, whether we're talking, bombs being dropped, bullets being fired, or whether we're talking about chemical, biological stuff, or whether we're talking about the psychological stuff from the screens and the conditioning and all of that, all of it has one thing in common, which is that it's all there to evoke emotion in you, and generally negative emotion. And if it's there to evoke positive emotion, it's because there's a manipulative tactic going on. Like think of a Hollywood movie where they spend a good hour of the movie getting you to fall in love with a certain character and feel these positive emotions, and then something really bad happens to that character, and now you have negative emotions. And the emotions are more negative than they would have been if they didn't give you the positive ones first. If you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, you know this very well. Love bombing followed by berating or being ignored, or any form of withdrawal. Here's all of my attention. I love you. You're the greatest thing ever. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, get away from me. I want nothing to do with you. You disgust me. This is, in a nutshell, what narcissists do to lovely people like you and I. And people like you and I that often have people-pleasing tendencies will oftentimes tolerate that. And on some level, we think maybe we can help this person or whatever it is that gets us to stay in these situations where we're just allowing ourselves to be abused and manipulated on an emotional level. If they can't get you up, they can't get you quite as down. You see how that works? It's like instill hope. Instill some hope, get you feeling, get you buzzing, get you on cloud nine a little bit, get you a little complacent, get you a little comfortable. Now pull the wool right out from underneath you. Pull the rug right out from underneath you. Now what? Oh, now you're panicking. And then guess what happens? Panic. Think about, by the way, the word panic contains the word Pan, the god Pan. Do a little research on the god Pan if you haven't already. All right? Pandemics, pandemonium. All right? This is all very dark spirit, okay? This is all coming from the dark side of the spiritual realm. So these non-physical entities, like Pan, who are capable of taking physical form, or at least appearing as such, but are actually disembodied spirits that exert very real force in the physical world. Because they're not physical beings, like I said, see, we have to feed our bodies. Our bodies are physical, so our bodies need energy from the sun. We need to breathe oxygen. We need to drink fluids. We need to drink water, and we need to put nutrition in our bodies. There's certain minerals and certain micronutrients that our bodies don't make on their own, and so we've got to do our due diligence and partake in eating for the physical body. But as it's said in Scripture, we don't live on bread alone. Right? We're more than bodies. We're also spirits. Our spirits feed on things too. So you can be spiritually fed or spiritually malnourished. A spiritually dead person is somebody who is spiritually malnourished. You know, somebody who is spiritually alive, somebody who is very vital, who puts off very healing, positive energy is somebody who is very spiritually healthy, fulfilled, not malnourished. They've received adequate spiritual nutrition from the spiritual realm, which for us can look like prayer, can look like service unto others, or even taking really good care of ourselves, or just expressing gratitude. You know, these are all things that feed us spiritually, or creating art or music, or just making other people happy, things like this. So there's the dark side of that. There's the spirits that feed off of the negative emotions. The same way we feed off of feeling unconditional love, right? There are entities who feed off of hatred, resentment, anger, chaos, panic, pandemonium, pandemics even. There are entities who profit off of all of these things, all of these negative experiences that humans tend to actually create for ourselves. It's just the funny thing, you know, if we go to vampire lore, right, you have to invite a vampire in. They can't break in your house. You have to invite them in. There's a reason why that's in the vampire lore, because that is symbolic of what I'm talking about. These entities that want to feed on you. On some level, you have to invite them in. And you have the ability to kick them out as well, through the power and through the grace of God, through a true and sincere and humble offering to him, like offering not in the way of the dark gods who would want you to offer a physical offering, a human sacrifice or an animal sacrifice. I mean, offer your life, your goals, your visions, your ambitions, your purpose, your meaning. Offer that to God. That's an offering. That's a very worthy offering to God. And when we make offerings like that, we're fed spiritually. And we're engaging in the opposite of this dark side of it that I'm talking about. These entities are real. And if they can't reach you directly through certain portals that you're opening, or certain doors you're leaving unlocked, let's say, and maybe you're doing that by you're not fully honest with somebody in your life. You've got a skeleton in your closet, maybe a few. Maybe you're living a double life to some extent. You know, maybe you're doing drugs, alcohol. Maybe you're creating soul ties with people that you don't really know that well. And now you're sharing. Now the same spirits that have access to this person that you engaged with sexually, now those spirits have access to you too. That's what happens when you have sex with somebody. There's an energy transfer that occurs, and a portal is opened, and a spirit can enter. It could be a spirit that becomes a baby, or it could be a spirit that becomes an obsession in your mind that leads you down dark pathways towards self-destruction that causes all sorts of negative emotion. And then guess what? These entities I'm talking about are now having a feast. But ultimately, we don't get to blame them, do we? It's up to us. And that's not to say that it's easy. It's very hard. This is not for the weak-minded. This is not for the spiritually weak. This is like big boy stuff we're talking about. When you really, really step into this way of life, the tests get very serious, man. The difficulty of this increases as you grow stronger. And as you grow stronger, you're able to deal with more difficulty. It's an ongoing process. So we have to embrace the process. Personally, you guys, I'm struggling with it lately. I'm struggling to find a healthy outlet for this intense level of masculine energy that I'm now carrying. Because I refuse to do the same thing that I used to do and use another person to ground it, use a woman, because I've dealt with this immense level of masculine energy, this I don't know what it is, but I've always been a very energetic person. And I've always felt it very difficult to become grounded and calm and to sit still. And I think that's a lot of the reason why I latched on to relationships with women and sex and intimacy and everything that comes with that, because it felt like, finally. It's almost like on some deeper level, I really just want my mom to hold me, if I'm being honest. It's my inner child, like deep down, somewhere really that's what's going on. But here's the thing is I'm an adult now. That time's long gone. And I can't be out here trying to treat women as if they're my mother. A lot of men do that and they have no idea that they're doing it. It's a very real thing. Women do it too. They try to make men their daddy. We all know about that too. It's a very real thing. So I don't want to play that game. No. I need to make sure that anything I think outside of me that I need to know that I have it within me. So if I'm craving this grounding that the feminine offers to kind of balance out this intense masculinity, this sort of like aggression and vigor, libido too, all of it, this fire energy that can easily turn into just aggression and irritability if it's not being properly transmuted. So I realized that I have to project, because I'm not projecting semen into a womb. I have to project my essence into the world. And the world itself is kind of like a womb, if you think about it. We call it Mother Earth. So I realized that I really have to work very hard, very, very hard. And there's just no way around that. And I have to create results in my life and produce things. And there's just no way around that. Otherwise, I'm going to remain in bondage. So there's the paradox, right? Work hard to free yourself from slavery. Kind of what I'm saying. But the deepest truths in life often are very paradoxical. So I think that's something we should get used to. All right, so with that, I'm gonna go hop in an ice bath. I'm gonna go back to the gym for the second time today, because there's no woman in my life, and it's just me and all of this energy, and I gotta do something with it. So, signing out. Much love.